Hey guys, Nick here. Thanks for coming by. I'm doing a few videos kind of out of sync. As a lot of you guys know, I'm having some surgery done. Actually, well, it'll be tomorrow, but I don't know if you'll be seeing this video by then. It'll be on this Tuesday, the 27th of June. But that's not why I'm doing this video today. A lot of you guys have seen the video that I did yesterday about a great friend of mine who got the call and is getting her new liver. Talked to her a little bit this morning. They're doing some last minute things just to make sure that it fits. So I don't have any news as to whether they were 100% able to go move forward or not. But as soon as I have that information, I will let you guys know. I also wanted to use the opportunity for a little bit of encouragement there because the transplants do happen, guys, and I have not received one, but they do happen, and they happen a lot more frequently than we would think. And I know how long and just arduous and just horrible the whole process is. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I've kind of been dealing with that for about the last year and a half. Because it's just what seems like one day at a time, and a day takes a week, and there's not a lot of transparency in the transplant process, and even your medical providers that are awesome, and doing their job, it's like, they can't say, in 2 weeks you'll get a transplant, or in a year you'll get a transplant, or if you ever will. So that's why I wanted to wear. I've had this T-shirt made. I don't know if you guys can see it. It says, "At Fortress Farms, your progress is not, or your prognosis is not a death sentence." And guys, I had this made because obviously I had the tiger eyes, and the tiger's always been my favorite animal. But it really symbolizes to me a lot of this journey that you go along with waiting a transplant, because a lot of people that go through that process are very, very strong. They may not feel physically strong all the time, but mentally, God, you got to be tough. I mean, you have to be a real son of a bitch to be able to, just go through all that stress mentally, and just the ups and downs, and oftentimes, you feel very alone. And a tiger is very, very much like that. They're solitary, type animals, and they're very, they're the king of their environment, but they're super focused. They're hyper focused. They don't like a lot of company, and that's kind of how I felt a lot of times when early on. I didn't want people to be around me. I didn't want to be around them. When I was so sick. So I kind of want to tell you guys what my experience with the transplant process is like. Now, when I was first diagnosed, I needed a liver then. I mean, literally, I needed it then. The problem was that my kidneys were in such bad shape due to my liver not functioning, that all the ammonia had built up and encephalopathy was going on. I could not have physically survived a transplant if there was a liver right next door. It wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have been able to handle the anesthesia, let alone the body rejection, and all that. So my team of doctors, they had very, very little faith that I was even going to make it to a stage where I would even be eligible for a transplant. I had been drinking for so long, and I had been doing uh, such damage to my body, both physically and mentally, that it was kind of what's probably happened to a lot of you out there. They just kind of they write you off as a lost cause. They give you that 2 months to live, 3 months to live, 1 month to live, because they don't think that you're able or capable of changing anything. A lot of times that comes true. I mean, a lot of times, sometimes it is too late to start making any radical changes. But what kind of starts to happen is that once you are finished with your stint of hospital stays, there's still so many hurdles to go through. You got tons of doctor's appointments with your primary care. For me, my nephrologist, my GI, and we really couldn't do anything until my kidneys got back in shape. That's just the bottom line, and it was frustrating because I would see my GI once a month, but I was at my nephrologist literally every single week. She was managing and monitoring a lot of my medications, and all during this time, I'm going to Vanderbilt, and they're ordering that I have, endoscopies done, colonoscopies done. I'm still having these paracentesis and just all this shit going on, and it's so easy to just sit there and think, because it's the logical thing to think. If I can just get a liver, if you people will just give me a liver, then I'll be able to, none of this other stuff will be an issue. Which is true, but it isn't, all at the same time. And I wouldn't have been mentally or psychologically ready to get a transplant if one had been available to me. I don't think in the first 6 or 7 months after I had been diagnosed. There's a lot of risks that come with actually having the transplant. There's body rejection, but then there's also a lot of stuff that I really never thought about until I was in that position. I started thinking, it's like, man, I'm waiting for someone else to die so that I can have a liver. I'm waiting for, what about their family and all this stuff? And I'm adopted personally, so I don't know a lot of my biological background. I have met my biological aunt, which is where I found out my Italian side comes from. We'll actually be meeting up here in a couple of weeks, in August or so. At least that's the plan. I'm looking forward to that, but I digress. So the idea of having a living donor was virtually non-existent to me. I also have a rare blood type, which can help you, but it cannot help you. So there's just all these different things. I wish it was like a Lego, where you just stick it in. It doesn't have to be the same color, but it's the same size, blah, blah, blah. It fits, you just stick it in. But it's not the case. So what ends up happening is they give you this list of things that you have to do just to qualify to be considered, Think about that. And in my case, since it was alcohol induced, I had to go through an IOP recovery program. I had to, all medicines and all this kind of different things to kind of get my stuff in order. All that took 6 months just in and of itself. I had vaccines that I had to get, just a whole list. And then as I was happening, I was thinking, hey, as soon as I'm done with that, this list that they've given me, I'm going to be, all my stuff's completed, my prerequisites are done, I'm ready for a transplant. But during that time, what ended up happening was, because I was following everything to the letter and doing exactly what they were telling me to do and not to do, and not doing what they were telling me not to do, my body started to heal in other ways. Now, I'm still technically disabled. My liver has not healed. I have full out cirrhosis, and that's never going to go away unless a new liver is put in me. But the difference is that since my kidney function and things like that have improved, I'm able to have a little bit more strength, to kind of go about things. It's not as dire. I still maintain, a high MELD score, which is higher than we know a normal person, would have. But, what that means is that while I'm still very dependent on all of the medications and having to, have these regular procedures and ultrasounds and scopes and all this stuff, I'm still able to lead a pretty decent quality of life. And I'm able to do this and share with you guys, which I always love. So that's kind of the transplant process. I know a lot of shows. I know the show Shameless, which I love that show, by the way. One of the characters who was just, a big drinker, and a big drug user and all that stuff. He needed a liver, and just bam, he got lucky, and there was a liver there, within 2 days. That's not reality. That's not how that works. Um, the fact of the matter is that when I was as sick as I was, if I had a liver right next door, someone just passed away, it was a perfect fit, I would have died. It wouldn't have mattered. They would have given that liver to somebody else, even if I was laying right there, and rightfully so, because I really had to prove myself, not just to my physicians and my medical team, but to myself and to Carrie as well. So I'm going to stop there because I feel like I've been going on a little bit long. But I'm having some surgery, so you may not see me a whole lot here in the next little bit. But I've got another episode that's kind of in the can that I'm going to release here in the near future. So check out the link below for my Facebook group for the International Liver Disease and Cirrhosis Support. Also, I'm also on Twitter, and I just went on Instagram at Fortress Farms 82. Also, last thing, I'm trying to raise some awareness here in my local news area. There's very little work to be done to raise awareness about liver disease. So my local news station is WATE. It's here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm tweeting them regularly and all that stuff to share in our experiences. So, if you want to look them up and, shoot them a message on my behalf, I'm really, really trying to get some coverage on there, and maybe we can expand it out even more. So thanks so much, guys. I love you guys as always, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you guys later.